I am Frank Omalape. Thank you for joining us now. Here are some of the reports we're filing at this hour. Let's begin from the Federal Capital Territory, where Vice President OSINBAJO on Wednesday departed Abuja for the United States of America to seek global partnerships and support for Nigeria's recently launched energy transition plan. According to a statement signed by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Laolu Akonde, OSINBAJO would lead Nigeria's energy transition implementation working group on the U.S. mission, with meetings starting from September 1, 2022, to promote the plan and secure global support from the U.S. government, the private sector, and other development partners. The VP will meet U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, U.S. Secretary of Energy Jennifer Graham, Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen, and President of World Bank Group David Malpass, among others. Nigeria's energy transition plan has officially launched, or was officially launched, on August 24, 2022 at a global virtual event. The homegrown strategy was developed for the attainment of 2060 net zero emissions and 6 commitments in 5 critical sectors: power, cooking, oil and gas, transport, and industry. Nigeria needs about $410 billion to deliver the transition plan by 2060. And away from that, now the federal government has disbursed about 471.9 billion naira to state government under the World Bank assisted State Fiscal Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability Program. The SFTAS National Program Coordinator, Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Stephen Okon, in a statement in Abuja on Thursday, said 471.9 billion naira has so far been disbursed to the 32 states of the Federation. He said the disbursements were made following the achievement of results in different disbursement-linked indicators in the annual performance assessment and carried out by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation as the independent verification agent, as the $1.5 billion World Bank assisted State Fiscal Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability Program draws to a close. The federal government has indicated an interest in the continuation of the program. Okon, in the statement by Mr. Ibrahim Mohammed, said the program, who is the program communication specialist, explained that as part of his strategies to ensure the sustainability of fiscal reforms at the subnational level, the program coordination unit was engaging stakeholders on the demand side, like the CSOs, who can ensure that fiscal transparency and accountability are sustained in the state activities. And now the total value of capital importation into Nigeria in the second quarter of the year stood at $1.5 billion from $875.6 million in the corresponding quarter of 2021, showing an increase of 75.34%. When compared to the preceding quarter, capital importation decreased by 2.4% from $1.6 billion. The National Bureau of Statistics, NIBSS, made this known on Monday. According to the statement, the largest amount of capital importation was received through portfolio investment, which accounted for 49.33%. That's about $757.3 million. This, said the NBS, was followed by other investment with 41.01%, and foreign direct investment accounted for about 9.58% of the total capital imported in the second quarter. The report added that disaggregated by sectors, capital importation into banking had the highest inflow of $646.3 million, accounting for about 42.01% of total capital imported in the second quarter of the year. And now the Central Bank of Nigeria says the country generated 799.1 billion naira from the oil sector in the first quarter of 2022. The figure represents a 28.3% decline from the 1.11 trillion naira it recorded in the fourth quarter of last year. While oil revenue amounted to 799 billion naira in 3 months, petrol subsidy payment gobbled 675 billion naira same period. The Apex Bank said this in its economic report for the first quarter of 2022. Oil revenue comprises crude oil and gas export, petroleum profit tax and royalties, and domestic crude oil and gas sales, among others. On the other hand, non-oil revenue in the quarter under review was 1.73 trillion naira, a 0.13% increase from 1.72 trillion naira in the previous quarter. However, the figure was 22.1% below projected earnings in the fourth quarter. The report said that non-oil revenue accounted for 68.4% of the total Federation account remittances, while oil revenue contributed about 31.6% to Federation account collections. The Apex Bank said the observed drop in Federation receipts was triggered by the decline in oil component of oil revenue. It said the fiscal deficit of the federal government was 1.6 trillion, 11.8% below the level in the previous quarter. And in the meantime, the value of point-of-sale transactions in Nigeria has jumped 39% to 8.03 trillion naira in 2022, according to data obtained from the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System. The data showed that the aggregate POS transactions between July 2020 and July 2021 were estimated at 5.77 trillion naira. However, between July 2021 and July 2022, the volume of transactions increased to 8.03 trillion naira, an indication of 39.16% increase over the period. POS transactions increased from a total volume of 921.19 million naira between July 2022 and July 2021 to 1.2 billion from July 2021 to July 2022. According to the NIBSS, July 2022 alone recorded the highest number of POS transactions registered at 2.06 million in just 1 month. According to the Deputy President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Gabriel Idahosa, the primary factor responsible for the recorded value of POS transactions was an increase in the supply of services and a strong market. Idahosa noted that the culture of cashless policy was also fast becoming a trend, largely due to the lingering impact of the COVID-19 period. And now, Emirates will resume some flights to Nigeria this month after the Central Bank of Nigeria released a portion of funds the Dubai airline had earned in the country but had not been able to repatriate. An airline spokesperson said flights to Lagos will resume from September 11, but the Abuja flight will commence much later, although the airline did not say how much money had been released or how much remained blocked. The state-owned carrier last month announced it was suspending all flights to Nigeria from September 1 after it said it had made no progress with local authorities to access its funds. Nigeria's central bank later said it had released about $265 million to airlines to settle outstanding ticket sales. The International Air Transport Association, the largest airline group, has said that by July, Nigeria was blocking airlines from repatriating about $464 million in revenue. And now, Lagos State government on Wednesday said residents and commercial motorcyclists who failed to comply with the directive on the ban on the use of motorcycles for commuting risk a jail term of 3 years. As the second phase of the ban commences September 1, which is today, the Commissioner for Transport, Dr. Frederick Oladende, who said this on Wednesday, disclosed that the state government has directed law enforcement agencies and security personnel to ensure total compliance with the ban on OKADA riders in all the local councils. They had been prohibited, including the 4 local councils and their 6 local councils development effective today. Meanwhile, OKADA riders and commuters have expressed their worries over the economic implication of the ban. Well, iBrandTV senior correspondent Igwe Korea now joins us live in the studio to take a look at this. Thank you for coming, Paul. We appreciate your time. Let's start from, let's even go back memory lane. This is not the first time the Lagos state government will be banning this. We've seen this. This is, of course, the second phase as well. But let's look at it. I understand that Lagos state has said that the rate of insecurity has reduced. That's one side. But then let's look at the economic implications. Some have begin, are worried, especially the riders, those affected are worries. This is going to take food from their table. Maybe the Lagos State didn't consider the implication of this. But what is your, what did you gather from the field when you went out to take samples or opinions of the people?
Now, critically, let's look at some of the effects of this ban on commercial motorcycle riding in the state. Now, in one angle of it, we're going to be looking at loss of time and manpower in terms of job placement and all of that in business activities.